Well, welcome back, everyone, to this podcast series on rewirement for success. My name is George, and I am a certified transformational trainer. And I want to tell you why I'm doing this podcast. 3 years ago, when I was confronted with retirement, I was terrified. I thought my life was ending. I needed to understand what this all meant for me. I wasn't sure where to begin. Then I discovered how to rewire my thinking, and it has transformed my life. Since then, I've talked with others about rewirement and about my experience, and they said, George, you need to share this material with people now, especially with COVID-19 in the world. The sooner that others know that they can make informed decisions and control their life, the better off they will be. I totally recommend you do not wait until you are 63 like I did. If you have any questions for me, you can email me at yourrewirementforsuccess@gmail.com. You can check out our Facebook page, Your Rewirement for Success, and you can leave comments or questions there. This is the 9th podcast in this series. Please send me an email and I will send you the e-workbook for this series. If you send an email to yourrewirementforsuccess@gmail.com. Blaming and complaining can act as our 100% responsibility GPS system. If you hear yourself complaining or blaming, you are being directed towards an area of your life where you are not taking 100% responsibility. We often complain about or blame events that we have no control over, such as the weather, the traffic, or the news. Have you ever heard someone complain about gravity? Usually, if they were going to, it'd be after they drop something. Now, they may make a comment, but that doesn't mean that they're blaming gravity for the dish hitting the floor. Of course they don't. Why not? Why is that? Because we don't have control over gravity. We may complain about dropping something and blame the object. We may blame other things, or blame our stupidity, but we don't blame gravity for causing it to fall. So what are we really saying when we complain about something? It means that you know things could be better, but you have chosen not to risk making the change. Well, think about that. Could you imagine telling someone, I wish I would stop getting sick and swollen, but I'm unwilling to stop eating food that I'm allergic to? Sounds pretty silly when you look at it that way, right? Let's look at some of the things that people complain about the most. Well, they complain about traffic. That's why they were late for work, right? They complain about health and fitness, having to work out, a couple times a week. They always complain about work. That's a given. They complain about being treated poorly. They complain about not having enough time. And they complain about bad relationships in their life. I'm willing to bet that you have heard someone complain about almost every single one of those in the past week even. And every single instance of complaining was simply them being unwilling to create a different outcome for themselves. What are they really saying when they complain about the traffic? I would rather feel upset over the traffic than take a quieter road. Change my hours of work so that I don't have to work or to drive to work in rush hour. Or look for a new job where traffic isn't a concern. Or maybe even get an app on my phone that helps me avoid traffic and the times you should avoid certain routes? Or how about accept the traffic and use car time to learn new knowledge by listening to audio materials? Now that's a novel idea. Been around since the cassette recorders that I remember. What are they really saying when they complain about not having enough time? Not having enough time rather than limit how long they spend watching Netflix or browsing the internet, or delegating tasks that I don't need to handle personally, or hire someone to help with the house cleaning, or have the groceries delivered instead of going to the store. I don't recommend that the next time your friends or coworkers complain about something, you tell them, you know what complaining means? You have a reference point to someone or something you prefer that you are not willing to risk creating. That probably won't go over well. And you would be responsible for the outcome that you create if you say that. You'll be much more aware when you hear blaming and complaining in the future, and it's easy to focus on other people. But remember that you can only take 100% responsibility for your own outcomes. And if they persist in blaming and complaining, you could suggest that they download the e-workbook and start listening to these podcasts to take more responsibility for their life. Remember to use your power. Number one, if you blamed or complained about something, go back and look at it, see what it's all about. And two, review it. Prepare a new response and take 100% responsibility in that area in the future. No more complaining, no more blaming. It stops with you from positive action and the use of E+R equals O. So thanks for listening to this podcast. Bye for now, and we'll talk to you in the next podcast.